Well, we knew it was only a matter of time before Jeff Fisher got fired. The man tied for most losses as a head coach in NFL history. Hard to keep your job when you have that many losses. Of course, we just heard from Jeff Fisher. That was his first media appearance since being fired by the Rams. Tyler, we know that you're a Rams fan. We consider you our resident Rams expert, so we figured that we would get your take on his comments. He told Fox that he was caught off guard by the firing, that he didn't believe the announcement of his extension was handled properly. What do you make of Fisher's remarks?
Well, I have some sympathy for him, 50%, and the other 50% I don't. Let's start with the 50% that has no sympathy for him. You mentioned it, CT. He's the tied for the all-time losingest coach in NFL history. He never had a winning record there with the Rams organization. 4 years in St. Louis, this year in LA, and you figured after the first couple of years in St. Louis, all right, he got better immediately after they were awful before Fisher got there. He immediately made them better, but then it plateaued.
Yep.
7 wins, 6 wins. Now this year they're at 4 wins. After they started the season 3-1, CT, they were 3-1, got themselves in a good position, then went on a prolonged losing streak. So Jeff Fisher has no one but the man in the mirror to blame for that.
Absolutely.
Now, where I do have some sympathy for him is I have long said, this has never been a Jeff Fisher problem. This has never been a quarterback problem with the Rams. This is an ownership problem. Stan Kroenke cares not a thing about wins and losses for his team. The only thing that Stan Kroenke cares about is his bottom line. And since he moved the Rams from St. Louis to Los Angeles and is now getting a $2-point-something billion stadium built there in Inglewood that will be the cherry, the diamond of the NFL universe as far as entertainment venues, he has upped the value of that franchise 3 to 4-fold. It's going to be worth, once that stadium is completed, $2.5, $3 billion, maybe even $4 billion. Cha-ching! It was worth $900 million when he left St. Louis. So Stan Kroenke's win is the fact that he made himself $3-point-something billion. He doesn't care if they go 10-6. He doesn't care if they go 6-10. He doesn't care who they draft, who they sign. He cares that that franchise is now going to be one of the most valuable in the NFL. That's the only thing that matters to Stan Kroenke. And as long as he is the owner and he only cares about the bottom line, you can bring Vince Lombardi out from the grave and stick him on that sideline. It's not going to matter because he does not care about the product on the field.
Certainly doesn't seem like that's a positive if you're a Rams fan or this team moving to L.A.
Absolutely. And I think that's where Jeff was saying, I don't think this was handled the right way. There's certain ways in organizations you go about something like this. I do think there's some sympathy I have for Jeff, at least, because I don't think Kroenke cared. He had Fisher in place to be someone who could move the franchise from St. Louis to LA, like Fisher did when he helped the Houston Oilers move from Houston to Tennessee to become the Titans. He was the coach at that time in Houston when they moved. So he has been through this, the most recent coach to go through it in the NFL. That's why Kroenke tabbed him to be the guy all those years ago in St. Louis. He knew, I got my eye on LA. And here's a guy who's been through this before, moving a franchise. He can be my guy who does it again, the scapegoat on the way out, and will try and put a shiny new toy in as the head coach once that stadium opens up in a couple years.
Fisher, certainly a guy who didn't get the job done, to your point, have to look in the mirror, but also, obviously, he was put in a tough situation. Certainly will be interesting to see what the LA Rams do in terms of a new coach going forward.